Okay, I think we're in. I think we're in.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get like an instant boot out message or whatever, which is pretty great. So yeah, I do think that we are live, and if we're not, then I'm just gonna record this and we're just gonna upload a VOD anyway. So regardless, here we are, folks. Hello to all of you. It's me, Scoutmaster Demi. It's been a minute. I'm sure for many Mega Man fans out there, and we are joined today by a true legend for Mega Man Star Force 2 named Zain. Zain, would you like to introduce yourself just a little bit?
Um, yeah, I guess. So
Sorry, I know that's always a hard thing
I
to
know
answer. I hate that.
it,
I'm
it
sorry.
is
I'm
because I
sorry.
didn't really think we were gonna get this far, like all these years later. I was known as Zane. Hello, back on the GameFAQs boards. I was also Wing General. I don't remember what I was on the Undersquare. That place isn't really important. I kind of showed up out of nowhere on the GameFAQs boards after beating up a bunch of people that were known on the boards, and I just kind of planted my foot on how to just be good at the game because I didn't play like the way everybody else played. They wanted to just cheese everything to death, and I was like, "Well, we can play better, we can build better." And then eventually, more people started to subscribe my way of playing the game, and then I got to create my little circle, and eventually I put forward like, hey, can we have like a ban list so we're not playing like in the Wild West, which is what the Legacy Collection Wi-Fi currently looks like. It looks like 10 all over again, and people are complaining.
Right.
People are really not liking it, and that's just what it's going to be without a proper like rule set.
Or like
And
proper tournaments that yeah that can support that, right, as opposed to literally just any setting of all time online, like have fun with Darkness Hole and Lemu or whatever.
yeah,
Right.
when you just like when you pop in, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a fun, balanced online experience. It's like, well, yeah, you would, because well, in another card game, they would just have these things when you go online, because like every online card game will like follow its unstructured rule list depending on the format. For the Star Force games, they just didn't have that. You just went online and whatever people used, that's just what they used. And some of the stuff is just like so obviously like over the top and like not what's there's a word for it. Um there's a $2 word I can't think of, but it's like it is not good for competitive play,
Yeah,
like by
yeah,
any means.
yeah. Like
Like
I
it's just like
busted or
this is
broken or
unacceptable.
degenerate. I don't know.
Yeah, degenerate strategies and all that other stuff. And eventually that picked up, and that just became like the GameFAQs rule set, like the US rule set. And we had our own chat boxes. We hung around on GameFAQs a lot. But
Well,
the
and
internet was like so young, so we didn't have like ways to like network. So
it was, and I'm gonna actually let's put a pin on that for a second because U.S. versus
yeah.
Japanese is an interesting subject. But real quick too, there is someone in the chat asking, "What do you think the best Giga class card in your opinion is?" And we'll answer that
Oh,
really
which
quickly.
chat am I looking at, by the way?
I've got Twitch and YouTube at the same time, so you'll probably see stuff.
Oh,
I'll
crap.
bring up some stuff that's separate or stuff that you might not see.
I should
But
open both of these.
no, no worries, no worries. But actually, even before we answer that question, I have
Yeah.
something even more basic for you. So,
Okay.
Mega Man Star Force 2 is not the
Yeah.
first game in the series. It's not the last game in the
No.
series. What is it about this game's player versus player experience that really speaks to you? Like, what makes this like the game that you love the most? If it even is the game you love the most.
This is it's probably like one of my top one, two, three games of all time. Star Force One didn't have Wi-Fi play, so if you couldn't find anyone in person, you just couldn't play. So it did not exist in like a PvP experience. It was easier to find someone with Battle Network back then because Battle Network is like it's on Game Boy Advance. It's like everyone has their link cables or whatever. It's like maybe you found someone who had it, but it's like Star Force is like it's like this weird DS game no one's ever heard of. If you're playing PvP on DS, you're like playing what like Jump Ultimate Stars. You're playing like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl,
Totally.
Mario Kart, something like that. You're not playing. Why does this Mega Man game have cards? Like
Right.
no one was really doing that. So Star Force One it just didn't happen. And then when two came out, or like when I heard it was coming, I was like, oh my god, it has Wi-Fi play. I want to learn this game. I want to be ready for it when it happens. So like I got on my R4 and I started learning it like when it was still in Japanese, and that was very clunky and difficult and stupid. But when it came out in English, I was pretty already familiar with what I wanted to do. I just had to get the cards done.
Love it.
And then
But I,
3 came out, and I was just very disappointed.
now that's interesting because
Uh,
I know a lot of people who really enjoy SSR3 or Star Force 3, however you call it.
yeah.
So I'd love to hear your take as someone who's jammed a lot of hours and has done a lot for the competitive scene for Star Force 2. What makes one tick more for you as opposed to the other?
This comes more from just I'm an old man. It's like I've played competitive games for like decades now. It's like 20 years, almost like I want to say almost 30 years, but no, I'd be like about 6, 7 years old or something. Oh, I said the thing. Um, but it's like I've been playing card games and fighting games for such a long time. So it's like I played two. It's like this feels like a pretty nice balance for both of those. Like there's some nonsense, like yeah, whatever, it's gonna happen. Like no fighting or game or card game's perfect. And then I went into three, and it felt like so many of the things that I valued from two, they just kind of got lost in translation with like the new system and like how folders are designed. Unfortunately, the US version of the game did not ship with the customization system, the noise system, uh, and that was like good or bad depending on your point of view. Playing vanilla 3 was interesting. Not many things were as oppressive, and some things just didn't really work, and sometimes the games would end on like 2 or 3 turns long, which is like that just doesn't even happen in 2, but everything just does so much damage in 3 that without the gear like cranking you up to like 3 to 4,000 HP,
So if I could chime
it's
in real quick,
really yeah, what's
does
up?
it feel like 3 is just especially in the Japanese rule set that would be the case now with Star Force for the most part with all these extra features or whatever, does it feel like the game is just way too fast and way too aggressive, where maybe Star Force 2 you could be a little slower, a little more controlling? Like, is that maybe part of the axis here?
One of the things about 2 that just a lot of people are just going to constantly disagree with me, like I'm sorry. Um, there's ways to handle almost everything that isn't your opponent slamming the variance button and like blowing you out with a bunch of megas or gigas, which
so the,
is a
so
big part of 2. I'm
so
not gonna say it's
there's
not.
checks and balances, right? Like there's
Yeah, there's like checks
counterplay.
and balances. Yeah.
There's counterplay to
You
degenerate
can play
strategies.
you can play slow, you can play fast, you can play like a good combination of like real time cards, so your opponent's dimmers like don't do anything when they get hit, and then you can use a bunch of dimmers, so your opponent's real time doesn't do anything because they can't respond, they can't TFC. But the thing about 3 is almost every single build, not derogatory, I just want to put it out there, focused on like holding W, that most of the builds is just I need to play as fast as possible. And maybe not like it's not complicated or technical, but it's like the goal is to just go extremely fast and over the top. It doesn't matter if you're using real time or dimmers, because there's some heinous stuff in like both games with dimmers and real time, but it's like 3 also has the win more system, which is the noise system. So as
Oh
you hit your
yeah.
opponent,
I,
they lose the ability to use the basic defense card that's existed since the start of Battle Network,
Invis.
Invis, which means you're like so you're like so screwed after like you get hit one time, and it doesn't even matter what other cards they have. It's like you can't defend anymore. You have to find a good spot to try to bring it back, and it's so much harder to do that because of how much faster 3 is, since it's so much more real-time focused than dimmers.
Yeah.
Like 2 has like a balance between like using both of these cards, but 3 is like there's so many real-time cards that if you just get like tapped one time, it's like, oh crap. And
I
then it's just, oh, I'm getting melted. I'm getting melted. And you can't respond to real time when you get hit. And a big part of 3 is removing armor and removing your opponent's protections. Like you can paralyze them easier, or bubble them or whatever. It's just about trying to find your snowball moment, and that's like what every folder like is to me at the end of the day. I know that's like it's a huge oversimplification, but like that alone is like why I have like I'm not really interested. And one of the big things of 2 is being able to break out of status or causing it whenever you feel like it. More like you get your first hit in a fighting game, it has a bunch of hits on, you connect your moves, you whatever,
yeah,
you
you
cash
combo
out.
off. You combo off.
Yeah, in 3 they just decided, okay, well, if you hemorrhage like 500 of your max HP, you're completely immune to X amount of combo starters. They just do not work. It's not armor,
Mm.
but it's like you're immune to paralysis, you're immune to freeze, you're immune to bubble. It's like you're literally using this customization system to no longer interact with the part of the game,
Mm.
and that just angered me to no end. And it's just like, I
To
don't
you,
really want to play this game.
to
I just don't
use
want to play this game if like that's how it is.
so this is maybe a weird comparison, and I don't
Yeah,
know how many people listening to this are even use Zane. Which, by the way, do you prefer Zane? Do you prefer Do It For Her? I've been calling you Zane. I don't know if do you have a preference in that way?
I stopped being Zayn when Wi-Fi died, but apparently that's what everyone wants to call me because we're back here. So
Love it.
I'm Zayn as long as Mega Man's involved.
Love it. Okay, good to hear it. It almost sounds to me like Magic the Gathering, where the vintage format is just so powerful, and you
Yeah.
can lose in 2 turns if you don't know what you're
Hmm.
doing. And then the sideboards are like absolute like silver bullet. Your entire strategy doesn't
Silver
even
bullet.
work.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
it's too extreme, right? It's like maybe too extreme. Like I'm either absolutely crushing you or I do absolutely nothing. Whereas Star Force
Yeah.
2 maybe feels more like a slower format where there's counterplay, there's like room to make good decisions. I don't know how
Yeah.
long the average Star Force 2 game is, but it sounds like 3 is significantly faster in your opinion.
It is. Three can definitely stretch like a little bit longer. Like if you, because since it is real time, you have zero guarantees. Like you still have to lock on, they still have to hit. But if it's like if you whiff like enough of those, and you're both just kind of flubbing around until you find something to get that first hit, the game could take a while. Like I've seen them go past like turn 5 or 6. Like that's fine. Games of depending on like who's rolling well, usually the games will just always be done by turn 5 or 6 unless you guys were just like super whiffing, which happens. Judge is very rare in Star Force just because like everything does a bunch of damage in all three
I,
games.
I was
Cards just
actually
do
about
so
to
much
ask you
damage
about
in this
that.
game.
Yeah, because that's fairly common in 6. Like not like super common, but like it happens, way more than you might
Yeah,
think. Which for those who might
yeah,
not know, after I think 15 turns, I don't know if that's the case with Star Force 2 or
yeah.
3,
It's the
but
same.
the game basically says, okay, we're done. And they determine the winner based off how much total damage they've dealt.
Yeah,
So healing doesn't really factor in. It's just like raw damage, raw connects. And it sounds like, based on what you're just saying, Star Force, the damage output is so high, which I would hope so with these massively tanky HP builds by Battle Network 6 standards. We got 3,000 HP like it's nothing. I would
yeah,
certainly hope so. I would hope that the aggro and the aggression is enough to really seal the
yeah.
game, which I think is kind
Yeah,
of
the
cool.
average HP of I don't know what it is for three because there's different priorities with what you put in your gear. It's like how much protection do you actually want? Do you want HP? Do you want your stats? But it's like the average HP of two is it hovers 3,000. So it's either like you're at 2840 or 3540. That's the average. Like ninjas and saurians will be 2840, and then Zerkers will be 3540. So it's
Gotcha.
like you're hovering in the 3K range. Cards just need to do a lot of damage because you can't use like Battle Network standard cards to do 3,000 damage
Right.
like one card after another. Like you would need like combos and stuff to do that, not stringing together random cards. Like most cards in Star Force just do so much damage.
Gotcha. Well, so with all that kind of the sort of foundation that we've laid out here, I guess let's answer that question really quickly. What do you think is the best Giga card? And if there's a few that are in contention, what would you say?
Are we talking like Star Force 2 or like
Yeah,
all the
Star Force.
games?
We'll say Star Force 2. Unless,
So
I mean,
2,
for each, but yeah, let's say 2 for now.
if we're going off of the US set, it's Dragon Sky GX, and it's not really close.
Okay. Now I know Star Dragon Sky. It's
Yeah,
in all 3 games.
yeah, it is.
Multi-hitting,
It's being a problem in 3 really bad, worse than it ever was in 2.
which is
And I'm,
so
I'm
fun to
eating
think
it up.
about.
I'm eating it up. I'm loving it. It's so funny.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. We got multi-hitting damage, but it's also
Uh,
wind. So because
yep,
normally, an aura might block a multi-hitting attack completely, and you
that's weak.
and
That's
you'll
weak.
and you're right, you'll do well to that. But it's wind, so you get rid of the
Yep,
aura. You hit a
yep.
million times. You can
Uh
stack
huh.
it with grass, pluses or whatever that might,
You
make it even
can.
stronger. And then it doesn't even flash you. Like you
No,
can
because it's wood.
Right, right. So that sounds pretty good. But I have to ask you, compare that to
Yeah.
something like Gemini Thunder, which pierces invis and paralyzes you. What makes you say Dragon Sky is even better?
Dragon Sky is a much better, like everything all over the place. So Thunder is already 100 damage less, and it only paralyzes in one out of the 3 spots it hits you. And Gemini Thunder is also just like it doesn't ruin anybody's momentum. Dragon Sky detribes Zerker. If you ever transform into Zerker, you automatically are scared of your opponent
Mm.
just slamming this dimmer that probably is going to hit you. Thunder doesn't have like any of that like boogeyman energy. Like it can hit anyone. It's just like okay, it does 400 damage, and I go back to what I was doing. Like if you're on the side, you take 400 damage. It gives you your what is it, 2 seconds of flashing. You don't really care. You'll bounce back. Obviously, if someone roulettes and they slam like 3 or 4 of them in one turn, you're gonna feel some kind of way. Like that sucks. But it's like Dragon Sky does more damage. You can't use aura, so you're gonna take 450 from it. It's so much better, and then has it has the escalation, which you already said. It's like you can put Wood Plus now. Dragon Sky does 800,
Yeah,
or it's
yeah.
like you can just be Ninja, and now Dragon Sky does 700, or you can be King, and it does 1200, or I might as well say it. If you're playing Star Force 3, Dragon's guys are doing 900 to 1000 damage on the regular, and you can't even stop that. The
And is that just
bonus that
those are
is
just noises? Like noise forms just give a lot of wood
the
stacking or what?
noise gear plus Elfie noise, like so the three's noise system, it's like you have your base abilities and then your vibrant abilities. Elfie just says you always have plus 20 to wood cards. So D-Sky is always doing maximum damage. There's no way to make it do less damage than that. Like D-Sky is like so good in like all three games. It's just like in 2 and 3, it's just so much stronger than like everything else. It's kind of gross.
Love it. Yeah. So, and I saw an interesting comment in the chat, which I think is worth talking about. We've got a question about Lemu,
Yeah.
which is I think banned in most settings here. Compare Dragon Sky to Lemu. Do you think it's equivalent? Is Lemu so much better? Because I
Lemon is
actually
better. Lemon is better.
let's hear
Lemon
it.
is
Yeah.
so much better.
Let's hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so Dragon Sky completely ignores one form of defense. It ignores aura, and then it does 450. However, Dragon Sky covers the far 3x3. So if you perform a lock on attack as a read or because you feel like it, Dragon Sky just misses completely. So that's where Dragon Sky sits. So it does 500. Lemu, if you're in the center, it'll do 600. You cannot block this card, and then you cannot use Invis or Aura on this card. So you actually don't have your three generic defensive options like
Wow.
block, invis, aura,
You get
unless
sort
you're
of all
blocking
three.
while invisible. You have to be
Yeah.
blocking while invisible
Which
to
no one
not
would
get
ever
hit.
do. No one would ever do. That's like
You
that's
you would
defeats the
if you know
purpose of
like
it.
you're yeah, but it's like there's like two scenarios where you would be doing this. If you're playing against a ninja, yeah, blocking while invisible is a
Oh,
good
true.
thing to do because
True.
you're invisible doesn't mean anything to their standard cards. Like they're gonna charge a squall or whatever, and they're gonna hit you through it. It's like a little bit of respect goes a long way, and then your aura doesn't work. So it's like, okay. But it's like, what if I'm invis? Well, Lemu will still tag you for 200 damage, which means no matter what you do, unless you're doing the Christmas Land defensive scenario, you're taking damage, maybe losing your invis. They could have put P plus on the Lemu. You could be over P stage from Lemu. Lemu is literally you press the button, you win the exchange, now your opponent's opened up.
Love it.
On top of that, it can do 600 damage if you're in the middle at the start of it,
Love it.
and it can't miss. It covers the entire field with 600 damage. It's not the far 3x3. It's everything.
Yeah. You're dealing damage no matter what with this super
Yeah,
powerful
that's
card.
why the card is just so disgusting. It doesn't like detribe, but it's like it just ignores like the economics of like the game, like
And
a lot.
I want to chime in with another one that it's funny. I watched your tier list, which I'll link in the VOD because it's a great tier list of every single card in the game. Um, it threw me off at first because I thought, okay, Darkness Hole, yes, I can see why it's powerful, but it's also
Watch
like,
this clip.
but
Watch
it.
the clip.
I know,
This has
I
an
know.
angry
No, no, no.
Battlefield player because they
I,
don't understand. They'll understand when you see that. It's like, what the hell is this?
so listen. I trust me. So my first thought was like, okay, but it's not like proactive. It's not like helping you deal damage on its own. So like, is it that good? And then hearing your explanation, it's like, oh, that makes complete sense. Like you literally just win. Like you just use your other cards. And as soon as you drop that off, like there's no counterplay. There's no invis, there's no aura,
Yeah.
there's no healing. You're just done.
Yeah.
Which does
Your
sound
opponent must
very
win in exchange. If they cannot win right there, they just lose, and that's it.
which is cool because again, that was not the first card that I thought of as being like super powerful, but in this case, it's so strong that it's ban worthy, which I think is actually really interesting.
It there's a few like checkmate scenarios you can do that like everyone has access to. but it requires your opponent to kind of like walk into it, or you have to like create the scenario where you have enough damage. Like Darkness Soul just says it's over. It doesn't do damage. There's no real way to like deal with it. The
Yeah.
only way to deal with it is it's like, well, don't get hits. Like, come on, like what are we 5? You're gonna
Right.
get hit in this game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's take another step back here. So Star Force 2, pretty unique in that there's 3 tribes total. You can
Yes,
start the game off in one of these tribes. And by the way, the tribes, the versions of the game also differ slightly in that your starting Giga cards are different. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think with blank wave cards, you basically have access to any Giga card in the game. Is that correct?
this is correct. So like every Battle Over game, you're gonna have your set of gigas that are stuck to your game,
Right.
but you're able to access other games' gigas by using the 10 blank card system or the blue card system from that you're gonna find as you do like side quests and stuff after you like finish the game. And these
Got
can
it.
be used to use the gigas from other games. They can use the like time travel cards from Star Force One because they brought in some of those, and you can use it to kind of break the rules with certain cards like mega cards, which I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but I appreciate that they let you cheat the mega rule with the blank cards.
So, so knowing that, it seems like the main difference with these games is the tribe that you start off in, right? Like
That's
your
the most
automatic.
important thing.
And let's talk a little bit about the 3 versions, right? Like,
Yeah,
so, and I this is kind of fun to hear you talk about this. To me, it seems like Zerker and Ninja are a little more popular than Saurian, but
yeah.
is that always the case? Like, I'd love to
It's
hear
just
more about that.
always been like that. I don't know. I just I couldn't really figure it out because this is at the start of the game, like before metas were established and everything. And Saurian was already behind. Like maybe kids don't love dinosaurs as much as we all thought, and like
Like we want to
I
hear
I, I,
like what is a
I don't
Saurian?
know.
Tell what is
I
this?
figured that's like what they were going for. It's like, oh my god, we have knights and ninjas and dinosaurs. And it's like everyone's gonna pick the dinosaur and the ninja, and it's like no one picked the dinosaur. It's like, huh, okay, no one picked the dinosaur. Whatever.
So you're telling me that the Saurian slander started at the game version level. Like we're talking not
Yeah,
even competitive. We're talking just
yeah,
little kids want their ninjas and their berserkers. They are not down
yeah.
for
Saurian
Valkus.
was like barely even used even when the game came out. Everyone
Okay.
was just like, oh my god, it's the sword, it's the ninja. I'm like, okay,
Got it. Got it.
whatever.
Okay. So already less popular in that regard. But how about competitively? Like let's talk about that.
So the problem is it bled into that. Like no one gave it a chance. They just kind of stuck with the things that most people are already using. And like when you play a Pokemon game, you pick your starter. You can use your starter the whole time, so you're just gonna stick with it. So most
Mm,
people, when they started the game, they picked Ninja or Zerker, and then they just kind of stuck with it. And most people that didn't get into the weeds, they just used one build until they stopped playing the game. Like they stayed as Ninja and they flip flopped here and there on cards, and then same thing with Zerker. And unless you were just like really die hard and using Saurian, you didn't really care because no one found much of a reason to do it. I think it has something to do with the card library. It doesn't favor Saurian too well. It's got a whole like one good-ish card in the regular library, and then it has a card in the blank cards, and then another card in the blank cards, and like that's it. So it's very boring to brew something like that's just within the regular bounds of the game. Versus like
got it.
Ninja has like one of the strongest cards in the game. It has these guys, so it's got like this huge damage profile. And then most of the best cards in the game are elect cards, so they just do more damage. So Zerker just goes, I vomit damage onto the board. Maybe it doesn't do the most damage, but I get to use the most good cards in my folder, and
And
like that's why I'm good.
I have to say, it feels like it. I want to give Capcom credit here. I want to say it was intentional. I don't. You and I will never truly know. But I think it is really cool that so many very powerful cards like Voltic i3, Gemini Thunder, Gemini Spark, SP. I think even Hollow is electric, right? The Hollow Mega Chip or Mega Card. Um, it's really cool that none of those actually detribe, right? That the 3 elements they
Yeah,
chose
the
in this
elect
game,
cards just don't do that.
yeah, which I think is again, who knows if that was necessarily their intention, but I think it is really cool that you're giving up something, right? Like you're sure you might get powerful damage or paralysis or maybe even invis piercing, but you're not detribing ever. You're never detribing, which I think is kind of interesting, and I wonder how much that kind of impacts other cards being used. It's a
Yeah.
cool feature.
I had like a tinfoil on that like a long time ago. Who knows if it's true? Because like double damage exists in Star Force One, and Pegasus just got absolutely bullied because Star Force One has a super saucy library, and there's a lot of good electric cards in one. And I'm wondering if they're just like, you know what, we're just gonna remove the water, and so that can't happen. But we're gonna keep all the electric cards good, which is kind of messed up. But
Yeah.
maybe that's what they did because they did have a plan for a pirate tribe.
Yeah, I
We all
saw.
know this.
Yeah,
We all
yeah,
know this, but it never happened. So I
yeah,
think that there's like, you know what, we're just gonna we'll just remove the water tribe because we want to keep the electric cards strong, and then they are still strong. Like they didn't
yeah.
get changed from one at all.
And they're still great. They're still great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about um the three different versions you might pick. Like, how might that influence your build, right? So we've talked a little bit about Ninja getting these free wood damage buffs, which makes cards like Dragon Sky GX, Squall extremely powerful. Compare that to maybe Zerker or Saurian. Like, what are these? What's like the sort of like kit that you're building with, or the sort of foundation, I guess you might say.
So for building up ninja, you're gonna you're gonna look at the rapid hitting wood first. And unfortunately, it does just boil down to D Sky and Squall. But you can't have a folder based around that. So there's a folder that I super propagandaed a bunch of people to play during the last tournament. It's a modified version of it. Won the tournament. Blah blah blah. Because that guy's really good at the game too.
Okay.
Um, you take advantage of ninja strengths after the wood plus. So the elemental plus is important because that's what makes Squall do 500 damage, and what makes D Sky do 700 damage.
Right.
But ninja's real power comes in the card charge, which takes any single non-dimming standard offensive card, except some people know this now because I did some testing yesterday, except for one card, and it makes the card go through invis. And it forces a lock-on attack immediately. So Battle Network players, it's a beast out attack. You immediately jump to your opponent and
Wait,
you hit
really?
them.
And you don't
So
have to aim the lock on? It just does
no,
it?
if you card charge it with Ninja, it automatically forces a lock-on attack if
Oh, that's
it is a
gross.
card that's allowed to be used in that way, and it
So
makes it go through invis.
so like let's say a Lexord, one of the best cards in the game.
Yep, that's like the scariest thing ever. It's like I just used invis, and then the ninja like less than a second later just like bonks you out of it, and you're like, oh, this is where the respect comes in. This is why you block while you're invisible if you're playing against the ninja, because you're not really safe. Like, yeah, the megas and gigas don't hit you, but the standards are gonna hit you, and that's how like the ninja gets his like stuff going.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's like the real strength in ninja is just being able to make anything a threat to invis, and that's where I came up with the idea. Well, what if we just use that on cards that you couldn't stop in one way? So now you can't stop it in two ways.
Yeah, so
So
like
does
a I don't know, like a destroy upper going through shields or
that's a,
something.
that's one of the greatest examples. Yeah, destroy upper, you cannot block this card, and when you get hit, you lose your armor. If you don't have armor, then Squall no longer needs paralysis support to do 500 damage. It will
Oh,
just
gross.
toss you in the water. Yeah, because it's battle network. It's a Star Forces tornado. So if you don't have armor, you just eat the entire tornado. You can't walk out of it. And but now you can't use invis or block against upper. So what do you do? Do you run around blindly, or do you block like when you should be blocking? Do you eat your veggies and block anyway and hope
Wow.
your opponent doesn't have that?
And can I ask, is there any
Yeah.
visual cue that the opponent, the ninja, the opponent ninja
Has
is
the
chip
charge?
charging? Yeah, is there any
Nope.
visual cue? No?
No.
Oh, so you're
No.
just like
I have no. Yeah, you don't know. Maybe they're waiting. Maybe they're waiting with defense. Maybe they're charging a card. You don't
Oh, that's
know.
so
Like
scary.
you have to make the call in the moment, and if you just call it wrong, you just get put in the washing machine. It's like,
Wow.
okay, great.
Wow. Okay, so knowing this about ninja, what might be a downside of picking the ninja build?
I'm
And
not
it
sure
sounds
there
really
is.
good. Yeah, there might not be a downside. I don't know. Like
The
that's
biggest the as far as downsides go, it really doesn't have it because like Ninja ignores one version of defense, which is great. It has
yeah.
anti damage and it's easier to use than in Battle Network because
Yeah,
you can
up and
just
Y, right? You just
yeah. But you so here's the thing. I didn't know this until like last year because I didn't like using Ninja, so I never like figured it out. In the Battle Network, you had to perfectly press back B to use anti damage. In Star Force, you can just hold up and just press shield as
Yeah.
much as you want,
I
and you'll
remember that as a
perform
kid.
the anti-damage. You
Gross.
don't have to time it anymore. I was like, oh, that's cool. Also, anti-damage just ignores anything. If you anti-damage, you can even like stop Darkness Hole. Like that's how strong it is. You don't
What?
exist during that moment. Yeah, you don't exist during the anti-damage moment.
Wow.
So yeah, and it's a wood response instead of like a null response like it would be in BN. So if you hit a Zerker with it because they decided to use their Buster on you, because I don't
It
know,
triggers off
you know,
Buster? Like just baseline Buster?
anything that hits anti-damage will cause it to happen, which means you disappear from the board for like a whole like 1 second, and then you swing at your opponent with a wood wide sword. But you don't exist in this moment to be like hit in response. Your opponent just kind of has to take the 30 damage or block the 30 damage.
Okay, so see now I'm wondering if it's less about like the dinosaur slander and more just like give me a reason to not be ninja because like sounds very good.
Ninja, there's almost like no downside to using it because most fire cards, you can block like most of the fire cards. Like one of the really good cards is unblockable, but you have to get like duplicates from the roulette. So Ninja's just kind of like the best at like doing everything,
Okay,
and it's just got
fair.
a really good top end. So I've been pushing like for Ninja like ever since the start. And people are like, oh no, I don't. I think Zerker's the best. Look how many people are using it. Yeah, because it's in both games.
Wow.
It's like
And that's
It's your Mario, it's
and
your
that's
Ryu, your Captain Falcon. Like it's
well,
it's just there.
and that's so interesting too because you know I in theory I'm like oh Zerker's so cool you get 3 cards which you know having more options is always great and then like your charge attack is like a paralyzing move so like that's always
Yeah, it's
helpful
like a plasma gun.
but then like you know you're talking about the strengths of ninja and like Zerker's just weak to ninja like that's like
Yeah,
it's like you don't even have a favorable advantage like at least Saurian can say I could maybe detribe you with my buster or something but like
yeah.
that's
That's one thing it has.
wow. Okay,
Yep.
so on that subject, if we are picking Zerker, what are we looking to do? Like, what's the sort of general kit, the general card choices? Obviously, we've talked about elect cards being so powerful on their own. So what are we looking at here?
You're looking to leverage all the little boosts that you're going to give your good cards. So everything that hits multiple times, you're going to look at that because it's like, I look at Voltic, cool, that does plus 60. I look at Flicker Kick, cool, that does plus 60. I look at Gemini Spark, cool, that does plus 40. And you're just going to try to use as many of them as possible because Zerker's innate ability is the side select, which is instead of grabbing cards up and down, you can grab them side to side. This is why Zerker has more health than Saurian and Ninja. Zerker does not have to install the side select ability, so it naturally just so it
Oh.
just has 700 more health to play with. Saurian and Ninja have less HP because they have to install it.
Oh, I didn't
But
even
this
know
is
that.
also
I
like
didn't even know they could
yeah,
do that. I didn't realize that was even an ability
yeah.
that they could
But
side select.
this is where the downside of Zerker shows up.
Because
But as
everyone
far
just gets their skill. Because it's not like is there an ability to have the ninja anti damage? Like, can other people tap into that?
No, anti-damage wasn't an ability until 3. The ability that you take from Ninja with the by installing it is auto lock, which just it basically gives you permanent it gives you beast out, exactly
Okay.
basically. So if you have
Okay.
any card that can lock on, you can
Like
just mash
Black
the button.
Ace, like the Black
Yeah,
Ace
it's Black Ace.
finalize.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. That's interesting because that sounds good, but like, but is that as good? I wonder.
Like auto lock?
And that sounds very good, but like, is there any downside? I know the rogue forms don't seem as popular in Star Force 2, so maybe that's not a big deal.
Oh, we I mean we could go into that. They're an unfortunate accident of the system.
Cool, cool.
So. But
Okay,
for Zerker, I'll just like we'll boil it down. It's like you're trying to play as many cards as possible, and as it turns out, a lot of electric cards grant the ability to paralyze the opponent, so they cannot move, which lets you use
yeah,
your Buster, which lets you use more cards, which lets you
yeah.
charge shot.
Chain together really
So
easily.
yeah, like the entire core concept of like the aggressive Zerker is to make sure your opponent can't play the game. As far as like -2 propaganda, where the entire game is just like trying to paralyze the opponent as long as you can. That's just what Zerker is trying to do because that's all it has. Because no electric card does a catastrophical amount of damage. Look at their
Mm,
Giga
yeah,
Thunder. It does 400. 400. That's not a
yeah.
lot.
That's pretty tame compared to a lot of these other numbers have been thrown out here. You
Like,
know.
look at Gemini Spark. If you aim it, it does 320. You have to aim it. If you don't aim it, it does 160. Most
Right,
megas in this game do like 250 damage.
right.
It's like
And you're never
Voltic
and you're
Eye.
and you're
Yeah.
never hitting for weakness. Right? That's
Yeah, you
like
don't hit for
there's no
weakness. So
there's no
you,
great ceiling here. The floor it's pretty much the floor.
Yeah, you're just trying to pummel your opponent with like as many cards as possible. Like that's Zerker's identity, and I think they did really well in just
And funny
adding the
enough,
cards to the game.
and funny enough, it seems like it's I don't know if it's like so significant, but having the most HP, I don't know if you might say they're tankier. I have no idea, but like that's interesting as well.
Yeah, having the most HP that also fits into the whole thing of I'm going to use as many cards as possible, but I have so much more HP than you. Maybe that's good enough.
Love it.
So you have like this little cushion, but then like the the crack in the armor for Zerker is the side select is bound to the tribe. If Zerker is lost, you lose side select, and your folder probably just bricks at this point because you're only grabbing like 2 to 3 cards per turn as opposed to like 3 to 5 cards per turn.
Wow.
So
Yeah. You lose a lot
removing
of
Zerker
tempo, a lot of
is like
tempo.
really like it's the most detrimental for all three of the tribes. When Zerker is lost, like whoa, you're feeling really good about that because you know that they have to go back in for their folder to like actually function because their damage just goes really far down. They don't have the charge shot to keep things going. It's
Dang.
really bad for them. They have to do it. Also, their damage is primarily in the multi hits, which they kind of were backing on Zerker to just juice it up a little bit. They're gonna try back in. Like they have to do it.
Interesting. Now, let's talk about Saurian, right? We've
Absolutely.
a little bit of the underdog as we've heard already, but what's he
Yeah.
got? What's his toolkit?
Uh, so within the power up, so the special power up system, like I guess like the mod cards for 6 for 2, there are tiers of power up data which just give you Buster stats, Mega Plus, Giga Plus, and other field abilities like Float Shoes, Shirt, Armor, and Barrier. All three versions of the game, like running like the competitive setting, they're going to use the Saurian power up because it gives you plus 3 gigas and 1,000 HP. Like that's really good.
Mm.
But it also gives you super armor,
Ooh,
which
staple.
is what Saurian's field ability is, which means using Saurian itself, you don't even have your field ability because it's stuck to the power up data. So you're already hemorrhaging that. You don't have
Uh,
that. Your card charge is the worst of the three. It's so bad that it's you basically never even try to use it.
yeah,
Like
it's like
Zerker has
charging
like
it up, right? It's like you
yeah
slowly make a card more powerful.
yeah it's like Charge Cross except it takes like twice as long.
Ugh, Charge Cross already
It's
took a
really
long time. Yikes.
it's really bad. I did some labbing the other day, and I found out that if you chained like a very rare kind of like paralysis that you can just so barely get the charge before your opponent gets out. It's like really silly, but like it's so bad that you just
Yikes.
ignore it even has that. So you
Yeah.
just look into the important part of his kit. Fire plus 30. That's it. That you're playing Saurian because fire plus 30. Or you
Wow.
want to double up on the Giga cards. But the fire 30 is like what really carries it because it
Well,
turns a bad Giga into a good Giga and it
what is
turns
this?
a
Leo
pretty
Kingdom?
Leo Kingdom, yeah. Leo Kingdom on its own, I think, does 480 damage, which is just normal Giga damage. Like,
Right.
there's no reason to use Leo
And
Kingdom.
you're
Like, there's
flashing.
plenty. Yeah, and it causes flashing because it's a fire card. But Leo Kingdom used by Saurian now does 840 damage.
Ooh.
That's terrifying.
And
That's a
if
great.
you hit a ninja, I mean that's like
Oh, double damage doesn't exist in 2 unless you use a.
oh really? It's just
Yeah.
detribing?
Yeah, it's just Detroit.
Okay,
Oh
good to
man,
know.
double damage would be like so unhealthy in 2.
Very good to know. Very good to know. Happy to hear it.
It'd be so bad.
Okay.
But yeah, 840 like off rip, like that's really good. So like that's your reason to run Sword. You use it because of Extinction Meteor, which was only a one of in 2. Now it's a 5 of in 3. I don't know if people actually use 5 in XT folders.
Right.
And then it's Leo Kingdom. Like those are your 2 claims to fame. And then for non-dimmers is Fire Ring, which is it's literally the Star Force Yo-Yo, except it's fire. And I guess it does like 390 damage, like off rip, like no combos or setup or anything, which like it's okay, but it's like
Kind of slow, right? Kind of janky. Like it's
it's not like slow, but like it's a gun card. If your opponent's not in front of you, it just doesn't hit.
yeah, you pretty much have to like stun
It's
them, I imagine, to even like
it is
think about
incredibly
hitting.
yeah, it's incredibly inefficient.
Doesn't break through shields, like just kind of yeah.
No, you can block the whole thing. Yeah,
Right,
because like
right.
Saurian's like it's very limited in the scope of like what it's trying to do, but what it has is if you lose Saurian, that means something worse was going to happen to you, and I can go into that. when you lose your forms in Star Force, you are
Real.
return. You
Oh,
yeah.
sorry,
What's
go
up?
for it. I was just gonna ask really quickly. Are water
Wow.
cards that common? Like maybe Cancer Bubble might
No.
be the most common, but like it
No.
seems
Oh
like
no. Cancer. No.
yeah. So maybe that's an upside is that your tribe form seems more safe than others, perhaps.
This is something that was picked up like late last year when like because I'm trying to push Sorin as much as I can because like I played Zerker for like thousands of hours. It's like I'm kind of done like figuring things out with that thing. But it's like the dinosaur, not enough people used it. Then I started to realize, wait, what if I just get hit on purpose? What if I just let this card rock? What if I just let it hit me because it's better? Because when you get hit by attacks that make you lose your form, you are now fully reset. You're standing up still. You're actionable. But if your opponent used a real time card to do that, they are not actionable. You have a
Mm.
chance to like go in for like a crackback or something, or you could just you choose not to use the defense card, get hit by the water card. Cool. Now we'll save it for next time when the water card actually would do something. So for Saurian, it's immune to being put in a bubble and being frozen. Because as soon as it gets by a water attack, you're
Oh,
going to
that's
lose
so
it.
funny. That's funny.
This actually happened in the tournament twice. So someone was running normal Mega Man in the tournament, and they were stuck going into the turn, and they were getting hit by Sticky Rain. They immediately tribe into Saurian, lose Saurian immediately, and then just walk out of the Sticky Rain because that's what Saurian lets them do. And like that was like the coolest part of the set. It's
uh,
like this is big brain.
is there ever a reason to be not to be normal Mega Man? Is there? It seems really bad to me, but maybe there's some big brain
Normal Mega
reason.
Man is like the next best thing after Ninja. If I didn't
Really?
push for if I did yeah if I didn't push for the ban for the status busters, Noble Mega Man is the best. And, like it's
Oh,
not
is
even
that
close.
why? Because your regular charge shot is just like really degenerate.
You're so Normal Mega Man gets its full charge shot in like 1 second.
Right.
So that's just like 50, 50,
Okay.
50, 50. And it lets
Oh.
you set up lets you set up panels easier. If you have like obstacles that lets you like create like 3x3s, like off you go charge shot in three. And it gives you so much freedom. And then since you're normal Mega Man, you
No.
always have access to tribe into something that you never were previously. There is no, oops, I drew the wrong brother. I can't double tribe anymore because I'm already this. You have 3 opportunities to escape status by tribing. Every other tribe can only do it
Ah.
twice. So normal Mega Man does a lot
Oh,
just by having
that's so cool to hear you say he's the second best form other than just Ninja. Like he's better than Zerker in your opinion. That's really cool.
yeah. Well, it's like normal Mega Man installs side select. What does Zerker have now? It's like
Mm.
I don't care. I'm just a 2840 dude out here doing normal things. Because if you're not bound to Zerker's like plus elect 20, you just use a bunch of good cards. So you don't
Mm.
have to use Flicker Kick anymore. You can just like go more megas and gigas or something. It's just so much better.
It frees
Like
you up.
being bogged down. Yeah, being free from like, oh well, I don't have to worry about being detried. Go ahead and hit me, I guess. It's not part of
Now,
my strat.
now let me ask you this: compare normal Mega Man to a Rogue form. How like what's Rogue giving up in this game? Well, obviously it's giving a lot of Link power, which seems bad. But
So we're
what's he
talking about
gaining?
twos.
Yeah, two's Rogue here.
Oh boy. Okay, well, no Mega Man mogs that. So the rogue forms are functionally identical to the tribe version.
Uh
They
huh.
do the exact same thing,
Can never
except they
double,
switch
can never tribe, or can never tribe
exactly.
king.
They switch out the elemental plus that they have for sword plus 50. So ninja instead of wood 20, it's sword 50. And then it
The
has
move
the
barrier.
rejection mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has the barrier and then the rejection mechanic. So if you don't initiate an attack within like zero point 0.5 seconds of locking on, your lock on will break and you don't have access to lock ons for the next 2 seconds, something like that. That's kind of whatever. The biggest problem is rogues don't, Rogue 2 doesn't function within the system of the game. Because the whole point of 2, like it's in the story and everything, is brother bands, having homies, strength through, apes together strong and all that. This lets you install more HP, lets you install other abilities, and then once you're actually playing the game, you have access to the brother roulettes and the ability to double try or go into king. Rogue does not have the 6 brother cards in the folder, so
Oh
you lose six.
right. Oh my
So you
gosh.
lose 6 cards. You lose 6 cards.
And these
This
are
could be
good
anything.
cards. I've seen the N1 matches. Like people are high rolling gigas left and right.
Yeah.
Like You're
But
just giving
even
up
if
on
they weren't
that.
gigas, they could just be like standard card, number 47.
And
And it's like,
and
well,
I think they're
that's
all
a
white too,
card.
right? They're literally
Yeah, they're
add
all
them
white
on.
cards.
You always grab them. They're
Yeah.
not even. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
hmm
That is. I didn't even
So
consider
you're
that.
losing
Wow.
6 cards. You're losing the ability to defensively tribe out of bad situations, and your max HP is like 2,500.
Wow.
Max HP.
Wow.
You have very low HP in this world of we have 4 gigas in every folder, and then like an 80% chance per game to find one off the roulette. I believe it's like 82% chance that you're gonna hit your 1 out of 4 at least one time once
Something else that I
roulette full
forget
screen.
about, which I just saw Heroes comment in the chat. You can't even use mega cards anymore.
No,
Like,
because mega cards
you're
are
summoning
the
something.
symbol of,
Yeah,
yeah,
summoning
it's the
friendship.
symbol of calling an assist from like a
A fighting game.
defeated foe. Yeah. So you can't call an assist. Yep. So
Okay,
you don't
so
have megas,
yeah, so
and yeah,
they're not viable. They're totally yeah. You're memeing if you're rogue form. That's yeah.
I you could maybe get lucky and get like a few W's here and there, but if you're playing someone from like the trenches from back then, you're getting nothing. You're gonna get blown up.
Well, let me
It's,
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Can because the ability to shrug off a lock on, does that at
yeah,
least potentially stop the ninja charge, the chip
no,
charge?
no, no. The
Right?
ninja
Why would
card
they?
charge to yeah, the ninja card charge to create the automatic lock on does not create a reticle to be broken.
Wow.
They kind of bungled it in 3 by giving auto lock a reticle. So if you ever play against Rogue Noise, the
Oh
reticle just
yeah.
breaks and you can't your build just kind of doesn't function. I feel though
Poor
that
Black
this was
Haze.
on purpose. I think it was on purpose, and
To
I'd
buff,
like not
yeah, to buff rogue noise maybe.
well I don't, I'm going to throw out a random number. Like 80, 90% of 3, like the gameplay pattern of 3 is using lock on attacks. So auto lock is just like, wow, it's free real estate. Now all I have to do is press the button. So they gave Rogue the ability to just like deny the entire identity of 3, which is like, if you don't lock on as fast as you can, I'm
You're gonna
going to brick
whiff.
your entire build. Your
Yeah.
build is not going to work. So I feel like the reticle was like done like it was added on purpose just so Rogue could interfere with it because auto lock is just like so much stronger in 3
Mm.
because more of the game is on lock-ons. Like in 2, it's nowhere near as
As you said
not that
earlier, there's back and forth between
good
the
as
time
5.
freeze cards, the real time cards. It's pretty balanced in that regard.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So something else kind of interesting that I noticed watching a lot of these like high level matches, um, it feels like people lean more towards the roulette than double tribing or even going in a tribe king. I don't.
Yes.
That doesn't. And that's not a hard and fast rule. Obviously, tribe king is very powerful if you can build up to it, but it seems like maybe there's a downside. Like, you're giving up that free card to double tribe and you might lose it, right? And you're going to lose a lot of tempo if you spent 2. You know, I guess you don't spend an action in your first tribe, but like if you're building towards something and it gets wiped back to 0,
Yeah.
you're gonna
If
you're
you
gonna
get
be really
trapped in the
far behind.
process.
So it feels like most people are safe and conservative. Let's roll. Let's try to get a free card, and let's maybe not worry about double tribe unless we're getting out of like a status lock or some sort of like positioning where like that might happen. Am I right in that, or is there a little even more
This is
nuance there too?
completely accurate within the exception of you're trying to king on purpose because you were built to do it. And this is
Mm.
something that people didn't understand back then, and that's okay. They kind of don't really get it now. I think they're getting it eventually because I'm around to like scream when it happens. So when you're building the folder, you have your typical offensive spread. Then you have your defensive veggies. You have your white defensive cards. You got the holy panel. You have your auras that are favorited. You have invis. Then you have your supportive cards like your sage cards. Those are white also. And then you have the roulettes, which you have full control over also, which are always white cards. So whatever. When you're going for king intentionally, you need to have a leaner, supportive, and defensive lineup within the roulettes and inside of your main. Why?
To take
Why would you
advantage of
ever
those
do
3
this?
turns, right? Like you've only got 3 turns to use your double damage, so you need to be
Look at
offensive as
this.
possible.
Look at how fast you figured it out. So
Yeah.
you go into king, and you slam the roulette. You hit a card that has 0 damage value. It's a defensive card. Okay, great. So now I'm doing nothing with my most powerful power up in the entire game. Like my double damage doesn't do anything if I'm not pulling as much offense as I can. If I have too many supportive cards in my folder, I'm not doing as much damage as I can. Going into King because you can, not well, I was paralyzed going into this turn. I'm going to double tribe, and that will just so happen to put me king. That's a completely different ball game. You were playing responsible games,
Right.
and you were just getting out. But it's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna tribe this turn. Cool. I'm gonna tribe again. I'm king. Cool. Oh,
Scary.
I have I have 3 stages and a trap in my hand going into king. What does this do? This is also really bad because king no longer has the ability to escape status at the end of each turn like everybody else does. You can no longer tribe once you're king. So if someone hits you with real-time status, you're stuck that way. Like you've resigned your fate. It's like, oh, I got hit with a paralysis card. That's okay. I'll tribe at the end of the turn. Oh wait, I can't. It's like this is the really weird hostile balance that king has. Is if you hit it, it's stuck. Like if you don't use a dimmer, they're not getting out. It's like you chose this life by going into that and doing
Wow.
it intentionally. That's okay because like I better not get out because if I do, damage, lots of
What
damage.
when the
It's
three
like that's
turns are
okay.
up, do you go back to
Yeah,
regular Mega Man? Do you lose all
normal Mega
tribes?
Man.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, it's cool. I will say that it's cool to hear this like tension. Because like BN6, it's pretty free to be stout, right? It's not there's not really like a downside necessarily. You can do it
Yeah.
anytime, it's just a button you can press. And so
Yep.
I really like this idea of like potentially building into something that's not even really guaranteed to win. And like and requires like a build. It requires the build to really squeeze the leverage
Yeah.
out of this form. I think that's really fascinating. And also something I noticed, it looks like your folder gets kind of cluttered, right? Because those icons just stay there. It's not like a card
Yeah.
that disappears. They're just like it's just kind of eating up space, so you have less cards to
Yeah.
play with as well.
This is also another issue because if you're using a folder that's like I'm gonna slam the roulette every single turn, I'm gonna do my thing with like the synergy pile that I have put together. If you just start tribing for no reason in a folder that's like not I'm gonna use my king big dammy, you're like ruining your own like synergy spots by blocking off your hand. Because if you're supposed to be a normal folder, you're supposed to be using as many cards as you can to achieve like max amount of damage. If you're going into king, you only need 2 to 3 cards per turn, and then for your opponent to either mess up or get scared, or like try to go first on you, and then you respond and like honk them with something. But if you're running like your whatever responsible mid-range pile, you have your support cards, your traps, and whatever, you need as many of these as possible to like play the game as much as you can. And going into double tribes when you're not supposed to, or going into king when you're not supposed to, like that just it backfires a lot easier. But some people can just get out of the bad situation because the roulettes exist. Like the roulettes are heavily contentious within two because sometimes if I don't get my gigas and my opponent gets the gigas and then I lose or whatever, it's like, well, I don't know. That's just card games. Like that's why I don't care. Like it's just card games. But it's like that's why sometimes you can just go into King and then you roll 1 giga. It's like I'm back in it. I'm the best. It's like
Yeah.
that's just gonna happen. You
Right.
you can't be upset about that. That's just something that's gonna happen, and that could happen in
And
any of the games.
and think about all the resources that it took for them to build up to Tribe King. That like, right? Like that's
Those two tribes that they used to get into King, those could have been 2 gigas. You don't know
exactly
that.
they gave those up, right? So it's like yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. I'm also seeing a comment from our good friend Kwanzaa in the chat saying since people use star carrier buffs, turns go by quick no matter what. Does that mean fast gauge is pretty much the default way in Star Force 2, or am I reading that
Yeah.
wrong?
So the power up data that gives the 3 gigas in Saurian, all of the power up datas, all of them, they give you gauge speed. So every turn is like 7 seconds.
Interesting. So there's basically
Yeah.
and I think only Star Force 3 has the gauge cards, so like there's just no way to manipulate that.
Yeah.
Everything is
3 puts them
fast.
back in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because otherwise it seems like yeah, you're literally just your quick gauge the entire game, which is cool
Yeah,
to hear
the turns
that
go by fast.
and it's cool to hear that you still don't really time out, because that's what I would think of if games are
Mhm.
if you got quick gauge. If you're BN6 and it's just quick gauge city, you're probably
You're
timing out.
racing for Judge.
Yeah,
That's like the point.
exactly.
If you're using that, you're racing for it. Yep.
It's cool to hear that in six, I get, or sorry, in Star Force 2, and that's probably because you're like throwing in 3 extra gigas in your folder with these
Yeah.
benefits. I guess you just get the damage output to cinch it. Really interesting. Super interesting. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
When is there a meta in choosing your brother's tribes? Like, if I'm ninja, it feels like
Yes.
I'd want a lot of Saurians because there's not as many water cards to punish me and make me lose my precious ninja form. But I
So
don't know if people just split it 50-50, if there's any meta there. Context dependent.
there is no. There is one way to set up your brothers if you're not being silly, and that is 3-3 of what you are not.
Okay.
And that is it. If you use anything else, you're trying to be really saucy.
Got it. Got it.
That is it. Because there's
Sounds
no
good.
reason to do anything else. You need to have your brothers split this way, so you just have the option to go into king no matter what. You don't want to have that off the table. You want
Yeah.
your fair chance of hitting it.
Love it. Love it. Also, Baguette in the chat is saying hello, which I think is fun. And same to you, Dashi. So we've talked a lot about we've talked about some of these Japanese differences, right? Like the Star
Yeah.
Carrier and things like that. What are some other things that an English player who grew up playing the DS version, maybe some Wi-Fi battles here and there, what are some other changes that they might not might, they will expect in the Legacy collection if they're going online?
Uh, so playing in LC online right now is no different from playing in the trenches of the summer of 2008. It is the exact same with all the footage that I've seen. You're fighting ATK, which is Automatic Tribe King,
That's
and you're fighting the promotional cards King's Grandeur and Lemu. And you're gonna fight the people that start up the game and go online with 100 HP. Like, it doesn't look any different than it did in 2008. It looks the exact same, and I'm like, man, I just want people to not see this at all.
So is it just the Star Carrier that's the big difference, like in terms of like things that we didn't have access to versus now? And I guess
no,
like those,
no,
and I guess
the
the special
same.
cards too.
It was
Wait,
the same. It
we
was
had
the
this,
exact same.
we had the Star Carrier in English.
We didn't call it Star Carrier back then. It was Wave Command codes, WCC.
But I'm talking about like the leveling up of like your data or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's the wave cards. They've just called it something else. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, never mind. Okay, I'm totally dumb. It's not like Star Force 3 where we literally lost a whole bunch of features that like
yeah,
we
they
just didn't get
didn't
at
like
all.
take
Okay.
no. If we want to talk about that, that's what happened for European too. They removed the wave card system entirely, so the European format was just your standard library and blue cards.
That's
I think
so wild.
they didn't have power up data, so they were just stuck in like low damage land.
Yeah, that's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I guess it's because there really isn't any difference other than maybe people using their
Nope.
action replay on their DS to get like King Grandeur and Lemu and stuff like that or something. But
Yeah.
otherwise,
We did have access to GameStop. Like, you could get them from GameStop back then.
so funny. And poor Europe didn't even get Star Force 3. Like they've kind of pushed Star Force 2, don't even get Star Force 3. Like, man,
That kind of sucks.
They got to be eating good in this 2026 era right now. It's pretty cool. I have an interesting question. And actually we kind of touched upon this a little bit, I think before the stream started or maybe early on in the stream. Kwanzaa's talking about asking what's everyone's opinion on the Legacy Connection netcode. He's saying he's had a really solid online experience with it so far. And again, I just want to say, I don't know if this is necessarily true, but looking at the N1GP chat today, people were talking about it being rollback netcode, which again, if that is true, Capcom didn't hype that up at all, which is insane to me. But I mean, I don't know. Have you found a smooth experience yourself, Zain? Do you have any thoughts on that or?
So, if you're not in the N1, you probably you just wouldn't know this. I got my LC. I 100%ed my Saurian file because I felt like that's the one that
Saurian, I love it.
Because people were gonna want that, and then I never opened the game again.
Okay.
So I don't know how good the online is, but everyone has been praising it since like day one. It's like,
So
guys,
cool.
I think there's rollback. Is there rollback? Whisper, 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 whisper. And everyone's pretty agreeing on, yeah, I think it is. Because there's so many things that just point to it actually being rollback. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I barely played anyone outside the States, so the DS connection was just like always fine for me.
Right.
And so I'm just kind of not spoiled by like current like internet connection, but it's like rollback, like that's really cool.
Yeah, that is really
Like if
cool.
I was playing, like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I it seems way better than the Battle Network one as well. I don't know if you spent any time on that, Zane, but Battle Network was like a million settings before you go online, and if one of those settings is incompatible with someone else's, you're just never going to link up. Where this is way
Oh,
simpler.
we're talking like LC.
Oh yeah, it was like a nightmare to find anyone online publicly.
Oh,
So
I never touched it.
yeah,
So
yeah, you'd have to do a tournament if you wanted to, for sure.
I heard it was just like a bad time
It was. Oh, it
because
was.
Capcom didn't make it. That's
But
why it was a
again,
bad time.
that's why this collection is so cool to me. I'm just gonna gush for a second because I could
Yeah.
not believe like even half of the features that they added to it. And the fact that they might genuinely have rollback netcode. It's like, man, if it were just crossplay, it would be like the absolute like perfect thing ever. But like I'm still pretty freaking happy with what we got. Like that's pretty incredible, all things considered. So
Yeah.
very, very happy with that. Okay, we've talked about some powerful gigas, some powerful megas. I know that there is I don't know what the name of this is, but I believe you can detribe to use your Big Bang attack.
Yeah.
I think you touch it on the touchscreen. I don't know how you do it on the Legacy Collection, but there's
There's a
some.
button now.
Okay, so just a hard button you press. Very
Every
cool.
time a dimmer happens, you get a prompt at the bottom. It's like, would you like to press this button to do the thing?
Oh, so it's in response. It's like it's only in response, like it's like a
It's oh my
TFC.
god, yeah, we'd have a problem. We'd have some serious problems if yeah, it's only in response. You can only
Okay,
use that as a counter. That it's called the LFBB
okay,
counter. Yeah.
okay. And which is I mean, it's still very good, right? That's like you're
Oh,
responding to
absolutely. That's
something.
it's one of your finishers for sure because you can't respond to it. If your
It just
opponent's
it
low
just
enough HP,
ends it just ends the chain, right? It's
it
like
ends the chain. Yeah. So we just like colloquially, it's just called lockdown. It's like each LFB has its own specific damage amount, how many hits. So if you know exactly how many hits and damage you're going to output, you just need to put your opponent to that and then like stare him dead in the eye and say, please do literally anything and the game is over. And there's like, like the 1% scenario where your opponent just honks you with one real time card and you're like, uh-oh. And then they kill you because you can't tap the screen
right,
for anything.
right.
It's like, oh.
But
Like
that's such a
those
that's such
chances
a
are
that's
very
such a
small.
cool spot to be in though, right? Like it seems like it's cool that you're so favored in that position, but there's still counterplay. Which again
Yeah.
seems like maybe that's your issue with Star Force 3. There's less cool counterplay. Like things are just too
There's
fast.
definitely less cool counterplay.
Yeah. Boy. Okay. Um Hearing all of this, it sounds like Ninja is the best form. If you want to win a
Yeah.
tournament, that's probably a safe bet. Baseline Mega Man. That's the biggest takeaway I had from this chat. It's so cool to hear
Salt.
how cool Baseline Mega Man is. I love that. And maybe if I looked at tournaments more, I'd understand that. But like hearing you say it, it's like, oh, duh, that makes complete sense. And then Zerker, then Saurian, and then Rogue. That seems like a sort of general hierarchy, you might say.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
this is correct.
okay. Do you think that Saurian being able to bully a ninja potentially with their charge shot, do you think that that's anything worth building around? Or is it like you're just giving up so much and they might just anti-damage you and like, sorry, buddy.
Building around hitting with the charge. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to crush any dreams. Charge shots in Star Force are not Battle Network. They are not a core part of your game plan unless it's Tribe King's charge shot. Your charge
Interesting.
shot just exists as something to toss out.
Okay.
Like you can't just go like area grab and then just be Tengu Man or
Slash.
Slash
Right. And just
and just
win.
bad.
Yeah.
Like your charge shot is so bad in Star Force. Like that just cannot be a core part of your game plan.
Got
And
it.
sometimes it's like it's even bad to use it. Like sometimes your charge shot's minus. Like if you use a charge shot, you can't block right away. You can't move.
Right.
If you
You're
use it, your opponent
punishable.
enters. Yeah, you're punishable. So sometimes you just kind of you want your machine gun. You want to just stay in Gregar form and
Mm.
The charge shot for dealing with, well, that's the good part about soaring though. It's like if ninja messes up, or it's like you catch ninja in like a dimmer war, they don't paralyze you, you paralyze them, you hit them with a charge shot, now their ninja's gone. You're like, great, my invis is now so strong.
Yeah. And they're so
So
behind, right? Because now they have to give up their roulette to enter back into that form, right? Like there's a
see,
real cost there.
That's the trap. That's the trap though. Ninja folders function without their tribe because they just get extra damage and go through invis. They still have their side select. Their
They
cards
still.
still do a lot of
Oh,
damage.
okay, okay, okay. Gotcha,
Yeah, D
gotcha.
Guide still does 500 damage. Squall still does 300 something damage. They lose the ability to go through invis, but it's like, okay, that's fine. It's not that bad. Like if you could take a turn off or two,
Interesting.
but it's not the trap. Like if you lose Zerker, you have to try back in. Your folder just sucks now.
Oh man, what a tough break. Okay, so I don't want to repeat too much that your tier list already covered because I think that was a really, really great resource. But let's talk like some interesting picks here. Maybe stuff that you wish you saw more of at the N1 tournament, or maybe like new metagame developments. Like what's some cool stuff you've been cooking up here? If anything,
Me
if anything,
myself,
maybe not you yourself, things you've
if
seen. I don't know. You know,
um,
I'm fishing for some new tech here. But if you think maybe there might not be any new tech, right? Maybe things are pretty stagnant.
there is a very small amount of new things that I found like after like Wi-Fi shut down because I had just like two was my life for like the 6 years that existed. There wasn't a week that went by when
Love it,
like online existed that I wasn't playing it.
love it.
Even if I only played like one or two games within like the last like online lifespans, like this week I'd play one person, next week I'd play one person. It's like, I found somebody, whatever. But it's like I figured out most of the stuff during that time, and I didn't really care to like document like anything that was like really bad because like who cares if it's bad? If it's bad, it's bad. There's nowhere to push it. But for these days, the newest thing, it's not from me. I'm pretty sure like the newest weirdest thing that is working right now is what Salad decided to build
Buster
and play the
Max.
tournament. No, not Buster Max.
I'm
We both
kidding.
had
I'm kidding.
we played a stupid friendly session for like 2 hours where we both used Buster Max folders, and it was just like stupid, and like it's never happened again. Like that card's bad.
The fact that it runs out is so crazy to me. Like Hub Batch is
That
such
slays
an
me.
insanely good Giga chip in Falzar. Imagine if Hub Batch just ran out. It's you know what I mean. It's like wow, that would be
No one would
awful.
use it.
Yeah,
No one would
that's
use, or you could,
terrible.
or I don't know if it was on like a turn or a time counter. If you slow gauge, you just lose hub batch. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
this sucks.
crazy to
This
think about.
card sucks.
But anyway, all that to say, what was Salad's innovation, or what's something that Salad's been cooking up?
It was trying to. I've given it so many names. It's either it's the voices or it's like the T1000, where
Great
her
names.
damage profile is so low until the voices start talking to you and say, "Hey, you can hit this 1,000 damage grass burn. You can hit this 1,000 damage freeze break. You should go for it." But if you're not doing that, the entire folder just tries to not die because it has recover 300s on the roulettes. So she just like pops back up like 1,000 HP out of nowhere if she doesn't die. It's like, great, I got to do it all again. And
Oh.
if you make enough mistakes and you get like close enough to judge, you're gonna try to push because maybe you got hit by the ox tackle combo or something.
Wait, that we're running
And then
Ox
like,
Tackle? That's hype.
yeah, she's going like as saucy as she can. It's like really, really funny. And then there's an accidental interaction that we found out. Apparently it's intentional, but the way it plays out is a bug. So as stated before, two doesn't have weakness damage. If you're a ninja and you get
Right.
hit by fire, you just lose ninja.
Okay.
For some stupid reason, if you are frozen and hit with a breaking attack that matches your weakness, the weakness now exists again.
Oh, so you're taking times 4 or times 3 total with the
So
freeze plus break
normally
plus the weakness?
freeze break is supposed to be a times 4 interaction, but in two it's your freeze break over grass is supposed to be a times 4 interaction, but in two it only does three. But if your frozen opponent was a ninja, they're going to take four. So Ox Tackle would do 2,000 damage
Oh
instead of
my
500.
gosh. That's
And
wild.
if you've played Battle Network, you only need one really good swing, and then just to not die, and you
Yeah.
can judge your opponent. Like
Yeah.
if you jumped up 1,000 damage or 1,500 damage, and then you just survived on like anti-navi and like
Okay.
anti-damage the rest of the game, you could probably just win with that.
So here's what I'm
And
imagining.
like,
Here's what I'm imagining. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just
no,
imagining
it's fine.
Sal's folder is like full of like recover 300s, then like some
Uh-huh.
random freeze break tech against the ninja to hit them for 2,000 damage, and then
I'm trying to
like
think. It's like it's Peg, Thunder, Avalanche. No, it's it's like Peg, Avalanche, Impact, Ox Tackle,
that's
I think,
crazy.
for the
That's so
Gigas.
funny.
And then the rest of the folder is just like a couple vegetables and then just like this assortment of traps.
Well, I
And then
love I
more than we're
love
gonna hang out.
I love like finding some way to punish the ninja. If you're saying it's the best form, it is kind of fun to be like, I have one ridiculous combo that's probably pretty flimsy, but can deal 2,000 to you. Like,
uh
that's so funny to me. I love it.
we have 2 or 3 clips from the tournament. Like she did this as king to like 2 people.
She did it
Two
as
or three
king.
people.
Is that
Yeah,
4,000
so there
damage?
there was a 4,000 damage ox tackle in bracket.
What?
Like the opponent was at like 1,500. Really didn't need 4,000 damage, but like it happened. It's like, oh, it's real.
Okay,
It's
so
happened more than once.
real talk. Do you think does this bump up Ox Tackle at all for you, or is Ox Tackle still as
I
gimmicky as it is, or do you think that this existence, like, is there any feasibility for it?
I don't think that it raises it because this is a full Christmas Milan
Yeah,
scenario
totally,
that
totally,
makes like it increases the ceiling of Ox Tackle, but not the
totally.
floor. And that's where you really have to judge a card by its floor, especially one that you have to aim. Like if Ox Tackle just like always hit, I think I'd bump it up absolutely. If it was like carpet range, like 2 squares long, it's like hell yeah, that's a really good card. But it's like as it is, it's like just because we found out a way for Ox Tackle to do more damage, it doesn't make it like any easier to hit with. Like that's kind of blah.
Yeah. Wow.
But despite like how fast and angry like 2 is, it's like what she got like what fourth with this folder with like the lowest amount of offensive cards.
I love it.
Like no one's ever done this. Like this is new. It's not like the coolest folder I've ever seen. Like not a shot or anything, but it's like this is something that no one did.
Yeah.
Had like less than a not even like a week's worth of like lab time, just like we're gonna jam games for like 5 hours or something. Like that's what she did with it. And it took her to fourth. It's like holy crap.
Yeah, that's cool.
That it's like is it on the player a little bit? Yes, I think so.
Yeah, sounds
But it's
very
like
good.
this is still like a completely new folder that no one's ever used versus like a bunch of versions of like the Ninja Aggro folder and my folder that took a like second and third or first and third. So it's like, damn, that's crazy. It's something completely different. So
Wow. I
I
love that.
want to see more people just try other stuff. Like you can be a weirdo. Like maybe it's not like the best thing, but you can just like you could play it better. It doesn't have to just be a better fool. You could just like understand your opponent and know like where to find your spot, and then just like hit him with jank because it's like the brewer's advantage. If you use something completely new, it's either gonna work the first time or it's just gonna like suffer. And if it works the first time, it's like well, let's keep going until people figure it out. It's like you could play it like a gimmick, but just
So,
being good will like carry itself.
as a sort of follow up to this, if you were to design a secondary format for Star Force 2, what might that look like? Like, we've got the sort of
Secondary
standard,
form.
like, if something like that could even exist, like, to give you an example, like in BN6, I think most people prefer to play US rules, no patch cards, keep it really simple. But then patch cards is like
I've
a
seen
fun
some
format.
I've seen some of these cards. Yeah, they're pretty not okay. I agree.
Right. Is there anything like that, or could there be anything like that for Star Force 2? Or is it pretty much like it's a fair and balanced game. We love to play it, like there's no need to like add extra jankiness to this game. Like let's
I'm
just
not
enjoy
gonna
it.
go so far as to say it's a fair and balanced game. Things get a little bit things get a little bit stupid sometimes.
uh
Um, So when I like propose like all the changes, like is like, can this be like the America format? Can this be like the format that we use, like
Yeah.
on the English Wi-Fi? This was not like this was not a vibes kind of thing. This was these are incredibly detrimental and unhealthy. Can we remove these cards and styles of play and just try to and optimize from there? It was no, well, I hate this card. No, it wasn't that. It's like this card's dumb. Let's just not have that.
And to
So when
double,
I'm
I'm
thinking,
sorry, to chime in
what's
one
up?
more time. And to be clear,
What's up?
that's Darkness Hole, King Grandeur, and Lemu. Is it just those three? Is there more to that list?
It's those three for like
Cool.
cards, yeah,
Got it. Got it.
yeah. And then so when I'm if you're saying, well, what other format could we run that would like feel like something like at home, not like it's an obvious gimmick tournament? Is that what we're that's what we're talking?
Either way, yeah. Either way.
Hmm. Ever thought of this?
And there might not
I
be a
think
good
I only
answer.
really
There might not be a good
yeah,
answer.
I only really have like gimmick ideas. I'm not interested in like trying to refine what's already here because
This is
when you
decades of
ban
work.
things,
This is
yeah, well,
decades
it's
of
like
work.
when you ban things that are actually problems, like in the first list, it's like it wasn't like, oh my god, I just it makes me feel bad. It's like no, by getting rid of all these things, we get to branch out more. So by
Totally.
adding like more bans, more limitations, eventually the things that we gravitate towards are all going to be the same. You can't ban too many things because then only like one or two good things are left, and then that's all you're going to see. So you have to ban
The
like the
healthy
things that over
balance.
centralize. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
create the healthy balance. So for another format, off the top of my head, I just don't have anything right now. I've just been thinking about like weird gimmick tournaments, like Highlander. Like
Oh
every card,
man.
you can only have like one
One
copy of
copy of
everything
any
on your
card.
brother and inside your folder, and it's just like, well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, that would be fun. And
Let's see
as you
what
said,
happens.
that'd be a fun gimmick, right? It wouldn't be like some,
Yeah, it'd
alternate.
just feel like a one-time thing. It's like, hey, because now you have to get creative. It's like, well, I have my Alex Slash, and now I have my oh, I only have one. So what else do I do? It's like, well, are there any side grades to Alex Slash? Well, I guess if you like, if you've had enough drinks, you can call Mummy Hand a side grade to Alex Slash, I guess, and then you could use that. It's like, well, how do I deal with Invis? Well, you don't have to think about that anymore because now there's only one copy.
And
So I don't know.
and actually on that note, I feel like Star Force 3, and I want to clarify by saying I'm really not that experienced with it, but knowing that you can run up to 5 copies of a card in Star Force 3, I think a Highlander it would really benefit from something like that because I feel like I don't know. Again, maybe I'm totally misinformed here, but I just feel like your decks get really homogenized when you can run 5,
I agree and also disagree because there's actually a lot of cards in three that just are so bad
Mm. So it's just
that there's a you're like you're going to use the duplicates because you don't want to use how bad some of the cards are.
interesting.
Like
Interesting.
you got garbage in three. You got like Shark Attack. You got Spiders. You got Mutek.
Uh-huh.
Like good lord, there are some horrible standard cards. No, like Baguette just said, one Mega Boost.
Yeah, yeah. You need
If you overlay more Aqua cards than your opponent, you're free to run around with free invis
right,
because
right.
support cards are always the support cards. They don't have to be the piece of crap. You can just put in a bunch of bad Aqua cards and have infinite invis. And that's like, as much as I dislike Mega Boost as a concept, you do need it in a game where you can
Die
very
instantly.
functionally have it. It's like you can functionally have like way more than the 5 invis that are in your folder. Like I don't know. I think
Yeah.
the dupes are like they actually just make the game function, which it's unfortunate, but it is part of the support system. The dupes are like, well, I can't use it this turn. It turns into this. Maybe next time I'll get that chance. I think Highlander would just suck for three. I think it would be so miserable.
Yeah. No, I love that. No, I love that. Again, this is just me like looking at a million Bushidos in a folder and then it's like, okay. But like,
Hey, you
that's
still have 1, 2, 3 X. Okay, you could still do that.
Oh, I
Surely
love
that
it.
functions.
I love it. I love it. Um, and I guess just for fun, I have to bring this up
Yeah,
to you because I don't know if it's because the game is still relatively new, but I was looking up like recent footage on YouTube, just trying to see like, some fun battle footage. What are people cooking up? And I saw so much Star Force 1 PvP. And I was like, what the heck is
yeah,
going on here? Is Star
yeah.
Force 1 so I there's this is okay. One thing I know about Star Force 1 is that there's no infinite TFC chaining. It's like it's one
Yes,
and done, which to me is like, okay, that's a weird
this
choice.
is this is the biggest problem with one for me.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding.
I think if one had like the TFC system as 2 and 3, one would have like so many legs, like to be like another good game.
Mm,
Because one has such a crazy library of cards, so many cool cards. But because of the TFC rule, it just turns into like two people pistols at dawn.
yeah, and you'll
Are you
never
gonna go
blink.
first? No, because if I go first, you're gonna Leo plus 300 me. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna not go first. You're gonna go first. And it's like this is
just
pretty not
Buster.
healthy.
Yeah, you just Buster all day or
Yeah, it's
something.
like
Yeah,
it's a
right.
buster battle. I've seen a bunch of games that are just like they hold the B button down for 15 turns
That's so sad.
because they don't want to use a dimmer. I was like, man, if that's how this game is, nah, I'm not down. If it
Yeah.
had the multiple TFCs, I think one would actually be pretty sweet
What
because
a
I would
weird
want to play it.
choice. What a weird
Well,
choice
it's
that
like
they made there, you know?
one had a bunch of weird choices because they just took so many step backs from like six.
Right.
Like they took away
Limited
so many
field,
things that
no
like
area
Battle Network had
grabs.
built into it. Well, I don't care about the field. Like that, like creates the new version of the game. It's like okay, we're functioning on this board, but it's like they added TFCs in the Battle Network at 4, and then they just kind of removed it as like an entity when they went to the spiritual successor. So like
Mm,
they went like a step backwards. Like they took like 2 steps backwards. They took away the area mechanics, and then they took away the interaction with like dimmers. I'm like, come on, guys, you can't just make something fresh and then start taking things away. It's like people want
yeah.
something new,
Yeah.
like you got to keep it familiar, and you're just like taking all these horrible steps backwards.
Just a
So
weird
that was
just a,
up.
just a
Whoopsies.
weird choice. Definitely a weird choice, especially considering
Yeah,
BN just did it. Like it's not like this was, the first ever iteration of a time freeze counter, right? Like that's
yeah.
that's
Just
that's how
copy and
instant.
paste the mechanic. It's like
Really odd to me.
it's still its own game. Why not?
Really odd to me. But yeah, I don't know. That's it's sad to think about because you're right. There could be some cool potential there, but say la vie, I suppose. Well, I think I've asked pretty much everything that I want to. Are there things that you want to talk about with Star Force 2 that we haven't mentioned yet?
I'm trying to think. Two's like it's in a weird spot for me right now, just because like I've been busy. Like when two was in the heyday, like summer of '08, I didn't have any response. I was 19 when two came out. I'm an old
Yeah,
man. I've been playing and thinking about this game for a very long time.
right.
It's like now it's like I have other stuff to do, and then there are currently two game breaking bugs in two's LC. They
Oh,
don't
in
exist in
PvP?
vanilla. Yeah, that
What
are
what are
usable in
those?
PvP that freeze the game. So, if you are familiar, Double Cross is a trap
Yeah,
that, when triggered
it's like
by the
anti-enemy.
use of a mega card, yeah, it's anti-navi. So when it's triggered, the card is taken from the opponent and then is reversed and tossed back at them. This is supposed to end the chain if Double Cross successfully triggers. Your opponent cannot respond to the steal. It is not coded this way in LC. Your opponent can respond to the stolen mega card and like proceed as normal, which that's not the problem. The problem is you can, for some reason, use a non-dimming card in response to the card being stolen. And if you do that, the game soft locks itself and you must just turn it off. You
Whoa.
have to close out of it entirely.
Like you
So
use an
that's
elect
one
sword
bug.
by accident, like in the
Or on
TFC
purpose.
chain.
You do it on
Oh,
purpose.
yeah, 'cause you're
Yeah.
losing.
It's
You're
like, oh,
losing.
double cross? Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna use select slash instead of like letting it rock. Because
Yikes.
responding to the dimmer is like, yeah, it's not supposed to function that way, but like the game doesn't freeze. But it's found out that you can just like intentionally like mess up the game and do
Oh, that's
that.
so sad.
And then the other one is it's a weird interaction. I don't know how the math works on this. So when King runs out, you transform back into normal Mega Man. You retain your hand. Like if you press OK, like you can just keep the same hand that you had when King ran out. There's a weird interaction that if you use a card with Paralyze Plus at the start of your hand, after you have lost King, so in that same hand, so it's like you had a card with Paralyze Plus and a bunch of cards. You lose King, you press OK to keep that hand. Once you go into the turn, after you use that card with Paralyze Plus, the rest of the cards in your hand have King bonus.
They do double damage.
They retain double damage. So basically, you have one more turn of using King,
Whoa.
but only
Crazy.
if you had a card with P plus. but for some reason it's not coded properly. So if you do that in LC, it does some like data negative overflow whatever, and then the card just goes to like negative 999999999, and then if you use the card with the P plus, it just freezes the game.
Yikes.
So
Okay.
all you have to do is just you run out of king with a card with P plus, you use the card, the game freezes.
Yikes.
It's like Double Cross and Volticai are two of the most like widely used cards, and it's like I really not playing this game right now. This is why I'm not playing it. It's like for realsies, because like I don't want to play against someone who has Double Cross and Volticai, because there's just like it could accidentally happen, and like I'm not gonna say please don't have these in your folder, because like these are like vegetable cards.
Wait,
Like
so,
Double Cross is your
why is it Volticai? It's not Paralyzed Plus or what?
Volticai is the card that was used to do it, because it's like it was a
Oh,
dimmer.
putting a
It's like
Paralyzed Plus on your Volticai is what you're saying.
yeah, like that's the card that was used to do it, but it works with anything.
Okay,
So if you
got it.
use a dimmer with a paralyzed plus, it just
Yeah, that makes
and just
sense.
freezes the game. But it's like any dimmer with paralyzed plus after you lose kings, like that's really easy to set up. You don't even have to try.
Wow.
So if your king's not panning out, you're on the third turn, grab any card, P plus, king runs out, cool, go back into the turn, freeze the game.
Oh,
It's like, oh, I see.
that's awful. Baguette saying there's
So
even a
until it gets fixed, I don't want to touch the LC because Melon Diaz it's got my back.
dang.
So
Baguette is saying there's a bug that makes it so even if you queue for Star Force 2 or 3, you might queue into the Star Force 1.
oh yeah,
It's a
they don't
crazy
want you
bug.
waiting in the queue for too long. But even if you say I only want these games, it goes, damn, that's crazy. Here you go, play Star Force One. It's like what?
Oh, that might not even be bug. That's funny. They're just desperate at that point. Like, go
I'm
fight
pretty
somebody.
sure it's on purpose, but it's like there was an option to not allow that, and it still doesn't work.
That's really
So
funny. That's really funny. Dang, 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 dang. Well, let me tell you this. I have been really excited talking about this, hearing a lot of stuff. It is very unfortunate to hear about those glitches because like the
yeah,
double cross one feels like that's a really scary one because double cross is just a good card, right? So it's like it's not like you're playing some weird card trying to like have your stalemate option, like that can
yeah,
just
you're not
happen.
creating a weird scenario. You're literally using it as intended, but you can just kind of break the game
Wow.
with it. It doesn't even matter what you counter with it. Like that's the part that sucks. It's not a specific card. If it works, your opponent can just freeze the game. It's
Wow.
like,
Wow. Well, but even that notwithstanding, I've been really excited hearing you talk about it. Sort of like thinking about what does a good build look like for each of these versions. Thinking a bit about strategy and things like that. And I can't promise like a whole bunch of them, but I would like to run at least one Switch tournament, one Steam tournament. Do something for this because I've been too excited about these games. I have such a nostalgia and a passion for these old Mega Man stories. I had so much fun replaying 1 and 3. Um, which is ironic considering we're talking about 2. But
dude, two is so
like,
bad as a single player experience. It's okay, man. Like
I'm glad to hear you say it. I'm glad. It's like this
it's
was
so
Star Force
bad.
1. This was Star Force 1. I needed you to blink first, okay? Because there's no
Yeah.
way I could just bash on Star Force 2 with my man out here praising the PvP. But yeah, no, not great. Not a great experience. But had so much fun with these other ones, and I especially love all that extra mile, the extra effort, the extra mile that Capcom went with this game, adding voice acting, that special credits and things like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to do something. So I've been really excited hearing you talk about it. And yeah, any other thoughts? Because that was a huge. I'm really glad I asked that question. I would never have known that there were two game-breaking bugs like that. Any
Yeah.
other
We're
big Star
just
Force 2
hoping
things
it
to think
gets
about?
fixed. Anything for two?
Well, we know that Battle Network DLC is coming, so that's pretty promising. And even the BN Legacy Collection, out of nowhere, they released a patch that extended the turn limit, which was really nice and beneficial, and fixed a few other glitches too. So like, I wouldn't count them out. I think it's possible that
I don't think they're gonna leave it as is. I think they'll fix it at some point. Mostly is like double cross isn't supposed to function like this anyway, and now it also just kind of breaks the game. So like,
yeah,
there's two really good reasons to fix that, and then
totally.
there's the post king thing, which is it's weird. It was never utilized back then. Had I known, I would have like been paying more attention to stuff like that, because like that's usable. Like creating a
Yeah,
fake fourth turn, like that's
extremely powerful.
huge
Yeah,
brain. That's really good.
yeah. And Paralyzed Plus is already a good card, right? So you're not really
Yeah, it's
giving
like
up
it's
that
probably
much.
in your folder anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Crazy. But
But
yeah, any other thoughts for Star Force 2 before we head out?
I would recommend people getting Melon DS and working on their files there, because if you're inside the N, I don't know if it's like this in other servers, but in the N1 we compiled like perfect saves,
Totally. No need to grind, no need
and
to yeah.
there's a brother band generator, so you could just build literally anything you want. And this is something that probably needs to get pushed for, because people are starting the game for the first time via the LC. The the roadmap that I hope happens is you join the game because of the LC, and then you play Melon DS most of the time, because Melon will let you test absolutely every single option without
Time
wasting
cost.
time finding people to change their brother roulettes for you,
Totally.
trying to find like different like brother setups and whatever. And then as far as finding people to play, Melon DS is Melon DS. Everyone has Melon DS if they have a computer. So it is the crossplay you're looking for. Like, you, if someone only plays on Switch, if someone only plays on like what, Xbox or PlayStation or something, it's like, well, if you both have Melon, you can play. Obviously, it's the world, but that's gonna suck because the net's not as good because you are playing on DS Wi-Fi at that point. But it's like, this is your way to crossplay and like grind the game a lot more. Like, there's only so much you can do with the LC right now because we don't have like save editing or whatever. It's like the game's not the LC is not even a month old, so it's
Right.
okay. I'm not expecting it to be like ready to go. But I think the end game is definitely still going to be Melon DS for at least for two. I think three, it's like people are more down to just like kind of grind that game and figure it out than they are for two, because no one wants to actually go for two and figure this out. They want to just deal with it, and
Right.
maybe they'll play the PvP if they care. But
Right.
Melon is definitely like the way. So if you're playing on LC, consider Melon DS, because it'll just let you play more people. It'll let you experiment more without having to run through the game a bunch of times.
Right.
It's definitely worth your time. Remember, you plug in the game and you have everything. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I think if anything, the LC this is similar to BN, where the LC does a great
with
job of
Tango,
like,
yeah,
yeah, exactly. Tango's fantastic, right? And like, this it's like a really good, it's just it's like any news is good news, right? You get people excited about this old thing you haven't thought of in a while, and then like, boom, like you're checking out Tango, you're hopping on the N1, different servers, playing some good old fashioned fun, right? Which I think is great.
yeah.
So. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Okay, well, again, thank you so much, Zane, for sharing your wisdom and your expertise. I learned a lot. I'm excited to delve into Star Force 2 PvP myself. Um, and with that,
Rad.
I am going to let all of you guys go. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for asking great questions. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the flip side.